E3 is over, I'm back from LA, and man did we see some awesome games, but we also had some noticeable missing ones, like where was Splinter Cell and Borderlands 3 that did show up on the Walmart Canada leak. So in this episode of the Your Game Show, I want to go in depth on why I think these games did not show up and when we will likely see them. So if you enjoyed that, then a like would be super appreciated, and let's go! Walmart Canada either has some impressive fortune tellers employed or did leak a ton of E3 2018 games. And yes, many things point towards the latter. The big one of course being Rage 2, that Bethesda immediately spinned into a PR stunt by making fun of Walmart. And we later got Pete Hines, the marketing boss at Bethesda, confirming that they always had plans to tease the game beforehand and announce it on the day they did. They just moved things up and improvised because of the leak. And I love how the Rage Twitter account later quote tweeted a Walmart Canada tweet where Walmart said that they could not wait to get their hands on Rage 2. So yes, we can agree that this leak was never planned at all. And it was kind of painful to see all the Walmart games be announced as well, like we got Just Cause 4 during the Microsoft press conference, and Gears of War 5 was indeed real as well. And before E3 we also got other games like Lego DZ Super Villains, Assassin's Creed turned into Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and yes, we indeed got a Destiny 2 expansion now called Forsaken. So with all these leaks being correct, we kind of believed that we would get a Splinter Cell announcement at the Ubisoft show as well, yet it wasn't there. Not only Walmart Canada, also Amazon from that same country listed Splinter Cell 2018 as a potential game back in March of this year. And we got the Ghost Recon Wildlands tie-in, where Michael Ironside returned as the voice for Sam Fisher. And I still find it hard to believe that he would only come back for one mission in a more than 1 year old game. If we go to one of the biggest gaming forums on the internet, Reset Era, we got a Reset Era insider and moderator who said that we should not look into the 2018 too much for the Splinter Cell 2018 Amazon Canada listing. But it gets even more interesting. He also made rules well before E3 saying that people should ignore reaction threads on the website. And he gave as an example, I can't believe the Walmart Canada leak was completely real except for Splinter Cell, implying that he already knew the game would not be there. And you could say, yeah, that is just a good guess. Well, for example, this quote in his Bethesda E3 showcase thread shows that he actually knows some stuff for sure. He said in that Bethesda E3 showcase thread that one of the announcements may cause people to fall out of their seats. Yes, Fallout, and this post was made on May 10th, well before the Fallout 76 announcement. So Splinter Cell was something we hoped for, but looking back at it, you could say that it was too much wishful thinking. But we will see it at one point for sure. During the E3 Coliseum live show from this year's E3, the Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot was asked about the series, where he said the following.
Are we going to get another Splinter Cell soon, do you think?
So we love the brand first.
Yeah.
We really want to come back with it at one point, but I can't say much today.
So yes, that we did not see Splinter Cell at this year's E3 does not mean it's dead. It's just not ready for prime time yet. It seems like the project is not as far in development as we would have hoped. But actually it's not that weird if we look at quotes from Yves at E3 2017. In a Ubisoft published video, the CEO said that he received a lot of proposals around the brand and that they are going to pick one up. Implying that at that time the game was still very early. So a good conclusion is that Splinter Cell is coming back, but that they were simply not ready to show it yet because it's still pretty early. Maybe that it was first planned and that's why the retailers put it up, but then Ubisoft decided to move it and not tease it until a later date. I expect next year at E3 at the earliest, because Splinter Cell could very well be a next gen game for all we know, launching in the first year of the PlayStation 5 and a new Xbox in 2021. We will get a new Splinter Cell though, but it will take some time. Another game that I think was first planned for E3 2018 and that did show up at Walmart as well, but we did not see at the show, was Borderlands 3. So what I think happened is that companies had a meeting with Walmart Canada to inform them about their upcoming titles so they can have the pre-orders ready as soon as the game gets announced, but things might have slipped. One thing in particular makes me think that Borderlands was first slated for an E3 2018 reveal, but got moved in the end. Back in November 2017, Take-Two, of course the big company responsible for publishing the Rockstar games and the 2K games, teased that their fiscal year 2019, so that is the time between April 2018 till April 2019, would be the biggest year yet thanks to Red Dead Redemption 2 and a highly anticipated new title from one of 2K's biggest franchises. So this could either be BioShock or Borderlands, but a rumor from Kotaku's Jason Schreier that happened this year suggests that a BioShock, while in the works, is still very far away. While Borderlands 3 should have been in development before the release of Battleborn in 2016 and went likely in full production after Battleborn shipped, so it should be well on its way. And yes, with Borderlands 3 on the Walmart page as well, I think it's safe to assume that this was the big 2K franchise that was slated to hit before April 2019, with a reveal planned for E3, I would imagine, if it was going to release in early 2019. But yeah, I say was because before E3, during the financial meeting from Take-Two, they delayed this game to the next fiscal year. So this game that is likely Borderlands 3 is now slated to release after March 2019, but before April 2020 to allow for more development time. And with that delay, they probably thought, why announce the game now when it will likely release in late 2019? And that's of course a valid point. Randy Pitchford, the boss over on Gearbox, of course the developers responsible for Borderlands, even said in an interview that they did not want too much time from announcement to release for the next Borderlands game. And this totally falls in line with them delaying the announcement here as well. If they indeed move the title from the planned early 2019 release to, let's say, October 2019, then announcing it now is not needed. If this is indeed true, that they moved to a late 2019 release, then I think a May 2019 announcement with more info at E3 makes way more sense and falls also in line with what Randy said during the interview. But yeah, with them delaying the game to the next fiscal year could also mean that it's just delayed by a few months and that it will now release in the spring of 2019. And then I think a E3 2018 announcement would still have been too early, looking at what Randy said as well, but then maybe a tease or announcement at Gamescom would make a lot of sense. 2K likes to announce and showcase their games at Gamescom. For the first time we saw that with Mafia 3, that was fully unveiled at Gamescom 2015 on August 5th. And interesting to note is that Borderlands 2 was also shown at Gamescom for the first time in 2011. And I totally get why 2K would be doing this, because it's a nice way to get a big spotlight on your game, since many other games have already been announced at E3, while your game is still fresh, like there's not a lot of info known about it. And Gamescom is of course a really big stage to announce a new game. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Borderlands 3 will be at Gamescom 2018, that it will be that big announcement followed by a release in the first half of 2019, because then it falls still in line with what Randy said. But yeah, that is just speculating. I think it's possible, I just wanted to throw that out there. But what we do know is that this game was first likely slated to be announced at E3 but got moved because of the delay and will now release before April 2020. So yes, while Gamescom is possible, I still would bet on an October 2019 release with a May 2019 reveal. But yeah, Gamescom would be awesome, of course, the sooner the better. I think it's good to touch a little bit on the Dragon Quest II SKU that was also on the Walmart Canada leak, because many thought it would be Dragon Quest Builders 2, since Walmart Canada did like to screw with the names of the games. Look at Forza Horizon 5, for example. So maybe this Dragon Quest 2 is Dragon Quest 11 instead, because that was the only Dragon Quest game at E3 with no new Dragon Quest Builders 2 info as far as I know. So yeah, not sure what happened. Maybe Square decided to move Dragon Quest Builders 2 info to later this year because they wanted to focus on Dragon Quest 11 right now. But yeah, I wanted to touch on this one because all the other games from the Walmart Canada leak, apart from Borderlands 3 and Splinter Cell, were indeed announced before or at the show. And I think in the end, the full prediction from Walmart Canada will totally come true. We really missed some surprises at E3 2018. If you look at the biggest games, we got The Division 2, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Fallout 76, Cyberpunk 2077. Those are all games we already knew about, when we went into E3, but saw for the first time like in action at the show. So maybe that is what E3 will be turning into, a show where we see gameplay for the first time for games we already know about before that. And I hope they kind of balance that we still get those surprises like The Last of Us Part 2 at PlayStation Experience. I still go crazy when I see that trailer with everybody clapping, going crazy, of course. Horizon is another good example of a game we did not know about and saw for the first time at E3. So I still hope we get those moments. But of course this E3 was also a little different because we are nearing the end of the console generation. And you don't want to tease like a game that will likely not be on the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. I hope you will join me next week for a new episode of the Your Game Show here on JorRaptor. Of course, subscribe to miss nothing. Drop a like to support the channel. Let me know what you think about Splinter Cell and Borderlands 3. And I will speak to you next time. Goodbye.